I'm still sick, by the way. Konnichiwa, hola, and what's good? YouTube otakus and fellow supernovas out there. It is me, of course, again, Jamal B. Stunting, back at it again with another Mug Monday. So, per usual, for every episode, I kind of set a standard for myself. I've been watching a lot of pro makeup artists on YouTube lately. I want to try a few tips and words of advice that I learned from them. So in today's video, there's two things I want to do. Number one, I want to use less product. So on camera and in pictures, with the looks I've done so far pretty much come up and look very good. But I feel like in person, they can look kind of cakey or just look, you know, not very appealing. Number two would be to use eye primer instead of concealer to prime my eyes before I put on eyeshadow. Now these two things I kind of knew already, but with the hype of YouTubers and beauty influencers, I feel like I get caught in the hype of a lot of trends and a lot of different techniques that are cool to do on camera and work in that setting, but don't particularly work in all settings, if you know what I mean. So I'm sorry to say that today will be another kind of repetitive video of me showing you every step of my makeup routine, but that is because I am changing certain steps, and I'm also going to change the way I apply certain things. And I feel like that's very important when you want to do makeup. Your foundation is everything, your base is everything. How long your look lasts throughout the day, how well it looks on camera, and how it looks in person, that all is very determined on how you apply the base of your face. So I think it's really important to show when I do change the techniques I use. But let me stop lecturing, guys, like I know 100% what I'm talking about, and let's get right to the entertainment. Oh. So for those who follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, you know that about a week ago, I got my first mail-in submission. I'm so excited. This channel is heavily reliant on the interaction of my viewers, and this just makes me really, really happy. But I think this person deserves a special shout out because I never thought someone would actually mail me a mug. For someone to mail me a mug submission shows me just how much they believe in my vision and how much I should believe in myself. But let's stop being cheesy. Let's open this thing, okay? So if y'all don't really believe these mugs were anonymous before, y'all have to believe me now. Like, this box was literally taped down. Ooh. It's an Amazon gift wrapped. Oh, it has a note. Let's read the note. It says, this is supposed to be a baby bear. The spoon is fragile, from Joshua. The spoon. The spoon? Honey, what? The spoon? What else is in here? Keep your gift a surprise. Unwrap your present before opening this envelope. So I was just reading this. So I wonder if in here it's like the receipt that describes what's in the bag, or maybe it's a picture. Who knows? I don't want to open it. It's just so cute. Okay, we have another box. So if y'all really didn't believe me before that that box was completely taped down, look. This box. You see this? Tight. Tight. Like what? Like tears. So this is like very personalized. Josh is a very dear friend of mine from high school, and in high school we had this group of friends we called the Bear family. So Josh was Papa Bear and I was Chocolate Bear for non-racial reasons. And then we had other friends with similar nicknames, making us the Bear family. So for him to submit this bear mug is like nostalgic, like heartfelt. So thank you so much, Josh, for the submission. I am really excited to turn this into a look for you today. I want to open what's in this little box though before we get started. Do y'all see this? Oh, oh, oh. It hangs on the mug so it looks like, hold on. It truly is a Papa Bear and a little bear. I wasn't ready. Insert Kylie gif. I know what you guys are thinking. Jamal, are you really just about to turn your face into a bear? Yes, bitch, I'm about to turn my face into a whole ass bear. Watch me. But I really just said that I was gonna use less makeup. So of course we're gonna start with just a little bit of Hydro Grip Primer by Milkmakeup. I'm using a little less product. So a big mistake I make sometimes is that I'll mix the product in my hands, and I have really big hands, and Lord knows that when I apply makeup like this or any product like this, I am not getting all that product on my face. So I think it's better to just use my little fingers here and just slowly apply across the face. Now let's get into this brow situation. So one thing I don't like about my brows when I do them is that since I'm using chocolate mousse, which is a lighter shade than my actual brow color, my inner brow will be super dark, but my outer brow, since I lined my brow completely with that shade, it just looks super light. So my brow goes from dark to light, and for most of the time your brows go from light to dark. So I'm still gonna outline my brow using Morphe's Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Chocolate Mousse. And I'm gonna fill it in using the shade Chocolate Mousse. But on the outer portions of my brow, I am gonna use Morphe's Color Pencil in the shade Dark Room to really define those fine lines and to make it even darker. Whew, bushy there. So before I get too insecure and too excited about fixing these eyebrows, I am going to take NYX Full Coverage Concealer in the color Orange and apply it to the dark spots on my face. Of course, applying a little bit less and blending more. Okay, you guys, just by applying less concealer, I can already see what the professional makeup artist was talking about. If I were to walk outside right now in the middle of the day with just concealer on, I mean, of course people are going to notice that I have something on my face, but this looks more natural than if I were to apply the amount of concealer I usually applicate. So I am going to take brush number 16 and I Am Magic Concealer in the shade J9 from Juviasplace, and I'm going to use that to shape the top of my brows. For the bottom of my brow, I am going to use the same concealer, but I am going to use brush M443 to really hone in and detail the edges of my brow without having to blend too far into my eyelid. And then I'm gonna blend out the concealer around my eyebrows just so it doesn't get too cakey in one spot. I actually just darkened the curve of my brows down a little more on each side. And I think that added like some intensity there. A trick for future videos? A new beauty hack? Or at least for me, maybe. Okay, now after working on just brows for 30-40 minutes, I think we're ready to finally move on to the next step. Now going into Urbandecay's eyeshadow primer potion, I'm gonna apply a little bit on one eye and then blend it out with a beauty blender. And I'm really pressing it in, but gently. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not like pushing it in there, but I'm just doing some gentle pats repeatedly in each area, just so I make sure it really gets into my eye. So the professional makeup artist I was watching said you want to use an eyeshadow primer because eyeshadow primers usually have more of a waxy finish and our eyelids are very oily, so you want that primer to really block that oil from seeping into your eyeshadow. And though concealers help with making your colors pop, concealers are very wet, so they tend to mix with the oils in your eye and not necessarily block them. So this eye looks very bright compared to this eye, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that I applied just the right amount to get going. So in case you guys are wondering, I made my brows thick on purpose. I am doing a bear look, so I want to have a very grizzly, furry eye. As far as the eyeshadow is concerned, I'm probably gonna do a lot of neutrals, which I know I say over and over again, I'm not a neutral girl, but I really want the theme to work out, so it looks like I'm using a lot of browns and neutrals today. But that doesn't mean I ain't gonna use no shimmers or glitters. We gonna have fun today, girl. So before I move on, I just realized I didn't flick any natural hairs on the end of my eyebrows, which I definitely want for this look. So I am going to fulfill that fantasy. Another thing I forgot to do was actually add brow gel to my brows. So using Mary Kay's brow gel, I'm just going to gently apply that all over my brow, hopefully not spreading any of the product from outside my brow frame. I don't like how light those hairs are. They make it look like they're not a part of my brow. I'm gonna be a daredevil and try my black pencil. I kind of mixed feelings about it, but I'm gonna just leave it alone before I mess it up. So today I'm gonna use a palette that I've actually haven't used in a while and probably have not used on my channel yet, and that is the Urbandecay Born to Run palette. And I guess I'm staying on brand with my Urbandecay primer. So starting with brush number 15, I'm going to the shade Baja. I use that as my transition shade. I'm going to stamp and then blend. I don't know if it's the palette, the primer, or a combination of both, but that was with one go. And this was the result I got. Then I'm gonna use the shade Riff using that same brush and buff it out a little around the edges. Now to add some depth and dimension, I'm going to the shade Accelerate, and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner and towards the center of my crease. And to continue to intensify this look, I'm gonna go into Punk and do the same thing. But I'm not gonna blend out Punk as much as I did Accelerate. I'm going to keep it in this corner right here. Now using brush number 19, I'm going to the shade Smog and apply that on my eyelid. So to really intensify that glitter look, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the shade Stranded, apply that on top of Smog. Using the same brush, by the way. Ooh, shiny. So using brush number 8, which is a big fluffy brush, I'm gonna go into the color Riff, which is the lightest shade that I used. I'm gonna use it to really blend out to the front of my brow, because when you blend out to the front of your brow, it really melts the look. This is a tip that I definitely learned from Nikki Tutorials. So something else I'm gonna do today that I have not attempted in a very long time is to do an eyeliner wing, y'all. Ooh, they make me so nervous. So going to Kesha Rose's Cowboy Blues Duo liner, I'm gonna start lining my top lid by going as close to my eyelash line as I can and just build it up a little bit. So if I look straight ahead, you can tell I stopped about a little over halfway into my lash line. I'm gonna have my head as straight as possible, and I'm gonna look straight as possible. And then I'm going to go into the corner of my eye, make sure my pen's perfectly aligned with my brow, and I'm going to go up. Now next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pen and go from not all of the tippy top, but about almost quite there. And I'm pretty much gonna draw a line down to where that is. If the line's not perfect, that is totally fine. Just attach them. And then we're gonna color that in. My eyes are so hooded that it's like ridiculously hard to do that. Ooh, bench. Clock me. So maybe that technique is not as great for my type of eye because my eyes tend to bunch up. So it did smudge a little, so I'm gonna let it dry and we're gonna go ahead and cover that up later. But for now, I'm gonna do my other eye and I'll be right back. All right guys, I am back with both eyes completed. As you probably can tell, I fixed the error on this eye already, but as you also can tell, I made a lot of errors on this one, and I guess I can just use this eye as an example on how to fix those errors. So first of all, I know that this eye is much more rounded than this one. So first thing I'm gonna do is take number 19 and try to round off that shade mixed with Smog and Stranded. And kind of just carefully go in. I let enough time pass by so that way the eyeliner on this side can dry. So now what I'm gonna do is take brush number 22, which has like this little sponge on the end. It's almost like a mini beauty blender on the end of a brush. I'm going to Smog and I'm gonna dab on top of that spot. Usually one coat is enough if you blend it enough. But if you need to, go ahead and add a second coat. You see how it's mostly covered? So now I'm gonna go into Stranded. That way it's also even with the overall eye color. And boom, it's like it never was there. Now here's kind of a hard error to fix when you just totally mess up your wing. So in this case, since I took my eyeliner and went like this, I'm gonna use that same hand technique to correct it so that way it ends up being the same shape and hopefully the same angle. So I'm just gonna get a little concealer on my M443 brush. Pretty much reach all the way over and looking into a mirror. Obviously aligning it with, having my head straight, aligning it with the corner of my eyebrow. I'm going to just swoop up. As you can see, I took out a lot of that wing, but you can kind of see already that it's already starting to match more. So I'm gonna take this brush and just blend that leftover product into my face, and then we can go back and fix the wing. Using a mini beauty blender to just blend that bottom part out. So for the first time ever, I'm gonna try applying foundation with a brush. So I'm gonna do what they do in videos. I'm just gonna put a dab on the brush. By the way, this is brush number 2 for my Royal Perfection brush set. But the reason why I'm using a brush today is because people say that if you use a brush, you'll save up on product and you'll actually use less product than you use a beauty blender. So hopefully that means by using a brush, I won't be as caked up with foundation after I use a brush to apply my foundation. Okay, that actually was a good idea. I think I'm gonna use a beauty blender just to reach hard to reach spots like underneath my eye and around my wing, just so I can definitely make sure it's got everywhere. Next, I'm gonna start applying my highlight, of course using concealer from Juviasplace in the shade J9, but I'm going to just put that much. That's probably like a good third compared to what I usually put on there, let's be honest. Now using LA Girls Pro Concealer and Mahogany, I'm going to apply my contour areas as well. Again, using very little product compared to what I'm used to. And just to let you guys know, I did not squeeze anything out this bottle. I'm literally using whatever little product is already on the felt. Okay, now taking our wet beauty blender, let's go ahead and go to town. Using a mini beauty blender, I'm actually going to blend my concealer up into the eye. You don't need that much up there. You don't want it to crease either. Now to blend out my nose contour, I am gonna stick to my contour brush. I think that's what this is called. At least that's what I'm gonna call it because that's what I use it for. In comparison to my brush down, I'm just gonna gently glide on each side to blend it out. And notice that I'm not putting the brush flat on top of my nose. I'm typically using the side. Maybe we need to do a little darker. So I'm just gonna apply just a tad bit more and do it again. I'm going to take brush number 4 for my Real Perfection brush set and take Juviasplace Eye Magic Setting Powder in the shade Gobi. I'm gonna use this to set my concealer, or as we like to call it, baking. Gonna gently glide leftover product. So while that's baking, I'm gonna try to fix my wing before I move on to lips. Let's go back into Kesha Rose Beauty Whatever Wherever wand, eyeliner, and Cowboy Blues, but you know, the black side. And I'm gonna really try and hone in and go against that line where the wing should be. Okay, I think I finally found this shape, but I'm gonna have to go back and buff it out again. Now using my e.l.f. powder brush, I'm just going to wipe off the excess. So now to look like a bear, I could draw a circle around my face right here and do like the typical things like you see on my cute, adorable little mug here. But that means I have to deal with like my mustache and like set more powder, and I don't want to do all that. What I am going to do is I'm going to take this liquid lipstick from Pearl Cosmetics and I'm going to draw me a little pink nose. How adorable. I'm a little late to the game, but I'm gonna apply some setting spray while I still remember. So using that bright pink liquid lip from Pearl Cosmetics, I'm also gonna apply that to the bottom of my lip. Oh my God, I totally did that without doing a lip liner. Is it too late? So now going with the ultrafine lip liner in the shade Pink Blossom, I'm going to repent for my sins and add a little lip liner down there. So since I don't have a black lipstick, I'm gonna take my large concealer brush and then I'm gonna go into the color black from my Flash color palette, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that on my top lip. Now to connect the nose to my lips, I'm gonna take my Morphe color pencil in Dark Room and just draw a line from the nose to right before my Cupid's bow. Now that this wing had time to dry, I'm gonna try editing her one more time. Yes! Now using number 3 for my brush set and going into Tao from the Saharan Volume 2 blush palette from Juviasplace, I'm going to use that to apply my blush. And then I'm going to mix Tao and Yara to apply it to my temple and all in this contour area. I kind of want to darken that contour. So what I'm going to try to do is clean off number 4 really quick And I'm going to go ahead and dip it into Yara from Juviasplace blush palette and really try to darken up that contour. Reapplying some of my loose powder from Juviasplace because my contour kind of overpowered for whatever reason. Like, so much better. So taking my M507 brush and going into Fenty Beauty's highlight palette in this shade Coppin Ice, I'm gonna apply that on the highest point of my cheekbones. Then I'll put the tiniest bit on my brow bones here. And of course a little bit on the nose bridge. Then a little bit on the, oh, Cupid's bow? Maybe not. Maybe just a little safe tad. Then I'm gonna put some on the inner corner of my eyes. Then to add some more brightness to the inner corner of my eyes, I'm gonna go into the Morphe Hit the Lights palette and go into Glitz On and also put that on the inner corner of my eyes. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I just realized I didn't put anything underneath my eyes, so we gotta fix that. Now I definitely feel dumb for doing my lips too early. So taking brush number 11 from the Real Perfection brush set and then going into the color, let's go with Punk. I'm gonna apply that to the underneath of my eyes. And then I'm gonna blend it out with Baja. So for the first time ever, I think I'm gonna actually let you guys watch me do my eyelashes, mascara, and my stash lineup. So to start off, I'm gonna apply CoverGirl Clump Crusher Extensions mascara. Sorry, that was just a lot to get out. Not gonna lie, with a very thick liner on, it's really hard to tell if I'm really getting my lashes or not. Apply that to my bottom lash line too. Now I just bought a whole bunch of new lashes from Morphe, so let's see which ones I feel like using today. I think I'm gonna go with Venice. See these beauties? Ooh. And I wanna say they're clear band too. For those who don't know what clear band means, first of all, bands really do make the lashes. For the longest time, I just thought lashes were black at the base, like just how they came. But you can get lashes that are clear at the base. That way they're easier to blend with their natural lashes, and I was shook. Like, here I was struggling to get black lashes to perfectly go on top of my lashes, so that way they could blend together, and all this time I could have been using these. The things they don't tell you in makeup tutorials, I'm telling you. And one thing you guys will learn about me is I always use faux lashes. I never, ever, 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 ever use real mink lashes. I'm not about that life, and I never will be. Let's go ahead and apply some glue to these chunks right at the base. Right now I'm using Duo Lash Glue. I'm using the green one. Then I'm just gonna apply some of that. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get in the camera here. So I put on my lashes, I grab them at the middle and try to go down and put them as centered as possible. And then I go innards first, place them where they belong, then outer second, and just kind of tug them into place, and boom. Now I will admit they're not as close to the lash line as I usually get them, but see what I mean with the clear band plus that thick liner? You can't even tell. This time I use Clinique's High Impact Volume Mascara because she is a little clumpy, but I want these lashes I just put on to really thicken up. So you guys notice I don't curl my lashes. Number one, because that's bad for your natural lashes. Number two, when you really blend your lashes with your faux lashes, like, it really doesn't matter. Just a very personal opinion. Like, see how high up those lashes go? Like, bitch, I'm about to fly away. So when I shape up my stashes, the first thing I'm gonna do is use the spoolie end of the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil. I'm just gonna go ahead and brush it all down. Then, of course, using the pencil side, which is still chocolate mousse, I'm going to add hairs to places that are thinning and make sure that each side matches. Like, I don't literally outline my stash because it's definitely gonna look very unnatural. Just add more hairs so that way each side matches. As you guys can probably tell, I treat my stash the same way I treat my brows. So now that I've added those real like hairs, I'm going to take the brow gel from Mary Kay and apply it and flip it down. Hopefully get rid of all the colors and powders that might have gotten to my stash throughout this process while giving it a very sleek appearance. I'm also gonna brush them away from that line, just so that line has more of a, you know, debut. So now I'm gonna reapply that liquid pink lip on the bottom. Then I'm gonna apply this Broadway lip gloss to my top lip. One last round of setting spray. And now I'm gonna see if I can find a more fitting shirt, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I did find the shirt I wanted to wear, but this is not over. There is one more thing that I swear was in my head this whole time and I totally forgot. Think how cute this look would be with like an anime blush right here. How do you do an anime blush, you ask? Well, that's gonna be super easy with my Juviasplace Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette. So I'm gonna take number 8 from my Real Perfection brush set and go into Lena, which is this very pink color. And I'm gonna get a very, very, very heavy dose on there. And I'm gonna just go in circles right here on my cheek. Take number 15, gonna do the same thing. Blah, 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 blah. Clap, clap. I'm gonna go into Tau, which is that reddish orange color, and just apply a little bit in the middle. Now using this ultra fine lip liner in the shade Cabaret, I'm gonna add a few slanted lines, all going in the same direction. Now I'm gonna do this on the other side, and then I'll be back for the actual final look. All right, guys, without further ado, this is the final look. Super kawaii teddy bear. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that blush. Look at that artwork, honey. And before y'all clock me, yes, those are my donut ears turned backwards, honey. And guess what? They work just fine. I have to admit, this has to be like one of my top 3 looks so far. Like, I love it. But of course, that's me being biased, me being a huge anime fan. But whether you're an anime freak like me or not, until next Monday, keep it kawaii. Johnny. Teddy bear, you are my teddy bear. I don't want to get copyright, but y'all should know what song I'm singing.